It's Monday, May 30th, and this is Drive Check, a Cardfight Vanguard podcast. I've put hours into it, breeding it, and I will get my shiny Talonflame.
Yes, you will.
I believe in you.
Have you guys played any Pokemon recently?
No.
What is Pokemon?
What?
I play Showdown a lot, but I haven't played the actual games in quite a while.
I've never played Showdown, if you can believe
It's okay.
I just like competitive battling, so that's why.
So one thing I've heard people complain about Dungeons and Dragons, like there's different ways of playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I've heard some people like who want to get into the role playing part of it, and they like the storytelling, and they really don't like doing damage rolls and attack rolls and charisma rolls. They're like, oh, when you play it that way, you're just like having math fight against math, and that's not exciting, and that's not fun.
So you mean when you're playing it the way you're supposed to play it?
When you're playing it the right way? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, Pokemon Showdown is just math going against math. It's not, you don't have that creative touch of breeding your own shiny Talonflame with 6 perfect IVs.
Well, I mean, I play both, but like I usually just like I'll test out a team in the Showdown, and then if I like it enough, I'll breed it in the regular
I know. Yeah,
game.
there are people who do that too. I'm not that competitive. Anyways, this isn't a Pokemon podcast yet.
It's not?
It may have been born from the ashes of a Pokemon podcast, but it's not a Pokemon podcast.
Can you really call it the ashes?
I know.
It's not dead.
Since what, it was like 140 in all iTunes podcasts like last week?
Yeah, definitely dead.
Definitely. On its way out. That's why it's last. It's like a dying star. It has a huge flash of light and heat, and then it's gone.
Well, I'll understand if you're not allowed back on after this.
Yeah, that's what I'm gunning for, man. Too many podcasts in 1 week. It's killing me. So I guess the only Vanguard that I've played, I was supposed to go to League yesterday because today's the Memorial Day holiday, and I could go to that League that goes from 5:30 on Sunday till 9:30 on Sunday, but I kind of got a little sick from running in the heat on Sunday morning, and I didn't have the energy to make the 45-minute drive. But I got to play my new Oracle Think Tank, new in quotes, Oracle Think Tank deck against Cole. So that was getting some Vanguard in, and I watched you guys play a match while I was building my Oracle Think Tank deck. What did you guys do anything besides our little group video chat last night?
I had a friend that was in town for the Memorial Day weekend, and I played for a couple hours with him on, I believe it was Friday. And then other than that, no, I have not, because I have like finals, and then I have like papers I have to finish up.
Are your finals done yet?
After this week they will be, yeah.
Ugh, so tired of you and your education. And also, your mom's name is Judy, right?
No, not at all.
I'm surprised because after last night's video call, I was pretty sure her name had to be Dame Judy Buzzkill. Because like every 5 minutes she's interrupting, and like we're trying to have a good time, and she's telling you got to go to the store. What about you, Cole?
I mean, it was my father's birthday, so I mean, there was kind of an excuse there. But
nah, he's an old man. Birthdays don't mean anything anymore. Cole, did you get any Vanguard in?
No, I decided to skip Vanguard League so I can go to the air quotes lake with my girlfriend and her brother and his friends. So
why the air quotes?
Because it's really a pond, but I think they call it a lake.
Okay.
Wow. So we're all like falling apart on our Vanguard playage in this past week, but
losing our credibility
a little bit. I mean, something was ignited in me last night when I started going through all my old Oracle Think Tank cards and pulling them out and trying to put together a deck where I really had that realization that Oracle Think Tank is my clan, and I should not be cheating on it with Messiahs. I need to invest my time and energy. I know Oracle Think Tank will never be like a top clan, but I love my beautiful battle sisters and witches and maguses.
With
or Magi.
GBT01, GBT01, the Oracle Think Tanks were like one of the best decks for a while, and then they kind of just got out. Yeah, and then they just the thing is, they just kind of got outclassed with all the support that other clans were getting, and they like just weren't. Because at first they got like one of the best, they were one of the most supported clans, and then they just kind of got power creeped out. Is what happened.
Let's get the power to creep back in, because Will Anderson needs some OTT.
Also, the problem is the character that plays them is like never in it, and then
she was just in the most recent English dub version. So
did she play a game though?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You need to catch up on your Gears Crisis, sir. That was like the most important part of the story.
My main point being the character that played the Oracle Think Tank clan didn't play Oracle Think Tanks for an entire season, and I don't think they even got support during that period of time.
No, they did. They got a lot of like extra booster reprints, because I have so many reprinted cards all over the place. Anyways, we're not going to let this turn into an hour-long podcast this week, so we're going to keep it moving, keep it shuffling along, and I have an errata, and Cole has an errata, so I'm going to do mine first. A few weeks ago, I had talked about skills versus abilities and which one was which, and I looked it up in the official Vanguard rules. Skills are things like boost, intercept, twin drive, and triple drive. Abilities are all of the things that your card on its own can do, either activated, auto, or continuous. So use the right term, and you can sound like an intelligent person when you're talking about your card's skill or your card's ability. Because I've actually noticed in the cartoon, sometimes they use the word interchangeably. But you don't need to do that. You can do it right. All right, Cole, what was your errata?
Okay, a couple weeks ago, I think it was probably the same episode that Will's errata came from. I made the comment that the Cosmic Hero Grand, what was it? It was Grand Revolver. I said that one, the art, when I last looked at it, looked like a cowboy. Turns out I was confusing Grand Revolver with Grand Drifter from the same set. Grand Drifter looks like a cowboy. Grand Revolver does not, which threw me off a bit. I assumed Revolver with the cowboy-looking guy, but, whatever. Tomatoes, tomatoes.
All right, so we want to do an update on the Springfest. A few more deck lists have been posted to the cf-vanguard.com/en site, specifically for Toronto, the Canada Springfest that has happened. And Jack is excessively excited because looks like the top deck was, or for at least one of the top teams' decks, Team DPS, has an Angel Feathers deck, and Jack is interested in getting into Angel Feathers. So what can you quickly say about this particular deck, sir?
There's two different Angel Feather decks that have been doing well, both here in the TCG and then the
global as opposed to Japan.
Yes, there we go. There's either the No Seal deck, or there's No Seal and Black Shiver Gavril in combination, in tandem with each other. So this particular build from the first place team was Gavril No Seal Angel Feather deck.
The other players, they had a MLB Thing Saver.
And Victor Nova Grapplers.
Which is Nova Grapplers.
Yes.
So once again, that's on the cf-vanguard.com/en website, and you just go to the deck recipe section on the left-hand side, and you can look. They have images of all the cards. They're very pretty. Those angel feathers are lots of fun. We were actually all talking about getting into the angel feathers, and then we looked at the prices, and some of us walked away, and some of us sold all of our royal paladins. So am I to understand that all of the cards for Glorious Bravery of Radiant Sword have been revealed?
You are correct.
All right, so that's the set that's coming out on June 16th. Today
17th.
is May 30th. Ugh. Don't disagree with me on the podcast.
I'm sorry, but it's better corrected
We
now
need to
than
have-
having errata next week.
We need to give him something to errata for
I
next week.
need
Don't
something
correct
to
him.
errata, or else I have nothing to talk about.
June 16th.
I
Glorious
said
Bravery
June
of
16th.
Radiant Sword.
Oh, it is June 17th. Oh, well, double errata and triple errata in the episode. All right, June 17th, Glorious Bravery of Radiant Sword will come out, and which is just about 2.5 weeks, I guess 3 weeks from today. So start saving up your pennies so you can, if you care about the clans that are actually in this set, so you'll be able to buy a case of booster boxes and maybe get 3 of the cards that you actually need, and then hopefully sell the rest of them to pay off the cost of your case of booster boxes. So we're going to continue, not from last episode, because last episode was our interview with Connor Morgan, and I suggest if you haven't heard that you go back and listen to it, because that was a pretty fun episode. And it goes along with what we're going to try to do, where on all of the 5 episodes, we're going to talk about lore, and all of the 10 episodes, we're going to try to have a guest. But we're going back to the 9 episode, which was the first set of reviewing cards from Glorious Bravery of Radiant Sword. And we're just going to continue going through the cards, and we're going to start with one of the cards that Jack left off with, which is Snow Elemental Hijaku, which is not Snow Elemental Blizza.
No, and it's Snow Element, not Elemental.
I'm just reading the link,
kidding.
dude.
Just kidding. Jack's errata. It is Snow Elemental, not Snow Element. Okay, so if you guys forgot, this is a Generation Break 1 activated ability on the rear guard. You choose 2 of your Snow Element Elemental Hijako on rear guard, and you bind them face up, and then you choose one of your Vanguard's abilities with a cost of Counterblast 4 or more and Soul Blast 6 or more, and then until the end of the turn, that ability's cost becomes 0. And the way you pay a 0 cost is just you say that you're paying the cost.
Yeah, you say it out loud.
Until you
just
use
say
the
I'm
ability.
paying the cost.
Yes.
So we had some discussion on this because Cole and I both thought that you would need 3 snow elementals, but you corrected us.
Yes, it just says select two of your units named snow elemental, and doesn't say select 2 other snow elementals. So you use the skill of one of them, and then you can target itself and then another one that you have on the field. So you're able to do this up to twice.
Yeah.
Yes, so you're able to do this up to 2 times. And so there's a few decks that I can see this being good with. One of them is the Dark Irregular Mega Blast card, Still Vampir.
And, there's also my lady CEO, Amaterasu, who has a Mega Blast.
Yeah, that's that. So the 2 I kind of see, the 2 Mega Blast units I kind of see having possible decks that can have this played in is the Dark Regular Still Vampir, which is just like every other Mega Blast. At the beginning of your main phase, you can Soul Charge 1, and then in this case, it gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So on Vanguard or Rear Guard for Still Vampir, you can Soul Blast 8 and Counter Blast 5. You choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and then you put that unit on your opponent's Vanguard circle. And then at the beginning of the end phase of that turn, your opponent chooses a card from his or her soul and then rides it. So if they have like a grade 1 or a grade 0 booster, you can force them to put that on their Vanguard circle
while they're defending.
Yes.
The important thing to know about Hijako also is that it only works with Mega Blasts, things that require both the Counter Blast and the Soul Blast. If it only requires one or the other, you can't use Hijako to reduce the price to 0.
Yeah. So with Still Vampire, the reason I think, especially now, that it could be a decent card is because now, like with the G Guardians just being released, you have your heal triggers that you're going to be dropping for G Guardians. In this case, since the requirement to G Guard is both you and your opponent have to be on grade 3. If you're not on grade 3, say your opponent took your trigger that was in the back row and forced you to ride it, you can no longer use a G Guardian because you're not on grade 3. And being on grade 0 on the Vanguard is the worst case scenario, because a rule that doesn't come into play very often, if your Vanguard is grade 0, you can only guard with grade 0s from your hand. If you have 1s or 2s in your hand, you cannot use them to guard. So it really locks down the guarding capabilities.
And actually, that feeds into our next card, interestingly enough, which is Doppel Vampir, also a Dark Irregular that will be coming out in this set. And his ability is when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, this unit gets power plus 5,000 until the end of the battle. And if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more until the end of that battle, your opponent cannot call grade 0 cards from hand to the guard circle. So if you had still vampired a grade 0 onto the Vanguard circle now, and you have 15 cards in your soul, they also cannot guard with 0s, so they basically can't guard at all. This is kind of like a very expensive Silent Tom effect, except that the Dark Irregulars soul charge so much that that's not going to be that much of a problem. All right, so those two cards go along. I guess it's a Vampire subclan build almost for the Dark Irregulars. Right.
And then the other one I could see it being used with is CEO Amaterasu, just because that card was the boss for OTT for such a long time that there's a lot of support cards that particular unit has. A lot of the other Mega Blasts don't have support like that card does, because none of them, they're just like all secondary cards that like have come out over the years. Well, that one is like has been a main unit for the clan.
Yeah, for
so those are the two decks that I could see. Yeah, so those two are the two cards I could see becoming at least semi-competitive, maybe more fun decks, but they're still like, I think there's the most potential in those two.
All right, Cole, do you want to go over the Kagero card? I believe that's Kagero.
Yes, I don't remember which one. Okay. This is the G Guardian for Cairo, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor
That is
Dragon.
not the next one on our list.
Was it not? Did we already miss that one?
Spherical Lord Dragon.
Will skipped it. That's why.
Yeah,
no, I didn't. I'm looking at the same list as that you guys.
There's no link. It didn't link, but it's there.
You destroyed the link.
Not.
Yeah, it is.
Snow
it's right
Elemental,
above.
Doppel Vampire, Spherical Lord Dragon.
It's right there between Hijako and Doppel.
I'm looking right at it.
You know what? How did? Yeah, it got unlinked. All right, go back to that one then.
All right. So, the Kagero G Guardian, Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon, defeat Flare Dragon. So it is a true dragon, and its ability is it's an auto ability, counterblast 1, and choose 2 grade 3 or greater Flame Dragon from your drop zone and put them on the bottom of your deck in any order. During the battle that your Vanguard with Overlord in its card name was attacked by your opponent's Vanguard, when this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle. Yeah. Guard Circle or Guardian?
Guard Circle.
Guard Circle, okay. You may pay the cost. If you do, retire all of your rear guards in your opponent's back row.
That's harsh.
That's pretty good.
And it also allows you to recycle Flame Dragons, because the Kageros have a skill or an ability that allows them to seek out certain cards, correct?
Yeah, they do. Well, they have it's Dragonic Overlord the Legend, where you ride him, you counterblast 1, soul blast 1, and check the top 5 cards of your deck for a Flame Dragon and add it to your hand.
Well,
so
you can do that.
Yeah, it allows you to put grade 3s from your drop zone into your deck. But the thing with this is, if you're heading towards... Oh, well, I guess it's to the bottom of the deck, but actually completely ignore that. But, like, so if you're in the late stage of the game, and one of the popular builds for Kagura at the moment is Dragonic Overlord, the Cross, and the End, and the purpose of that deck, a strategy that deck likes to use a lot, is they attempt to Legion every turn, so that towards the end of the game, their deck is almost all triggers. So say you have like 18 cards left in your deck, you are... This happened to me in a game that I played on Friday. I had 17 cards left in my deck, 14 of which were triggers. So that's kind of like, you get to that final stack and you're at a stack full of triggers, similar to how OTT played with Tsukiyomi. And so if you end up having to shuffle your deck, you're going to have grade 3s in your deck that are clogging up that trigger stack. The effect does say to just put them at the bottom of your deck, so that's, I guess it doesn't interfere as much as I thought. But another thing is, Dragonic Burnout is a grade 2 that allows you to retire your opponent's units for a cheap cost. But that card also requires you to put a grade 3 Overlord, I think it's a grade 3 Overlord, back into your deck. So it kind of interferes with that somewhat. Like, it's still a very good card. It's just a lot of people are overhyping it, I think, is all.
All right.
But it's a really good card, yeah.
So what do you want to tell us about the Spherical Lord Dragon? We're back to that.
Spherical Lord Dragon is a Generation Break 1. When your grade 4 or greater Vanguard with Overlord in its name attacks, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. You counterblast 2, and then when this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, you can pay the cost. If you do, you search your deck for 1 card with Overlord in its card name, and then you write it as stand, and then you shuffle your deck. And then if you road, you choose up to 1 card named Spherical Lord Dragon in your soul and call it to rearguard. So basically what this card is it allows you to play... It essentially allows you to play 1 grade 3 Overlord as your main Vanguard. Say you don't want to have any... So, like, say with the Legend, you don't want to have any backups. Because people are trying to figure out right now what's the best backup grade 3 for the Legend. With this card, you can just play the Legend, and then it gives you a really great rearguard attacker along with it.
And is the Dragonic Overlords, are they Flame Dragons?
Yes.
So if they were in your drop zone and you move them back into the bottom of your deck, you can use this ability to search them out again and ride them as stand.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Nice. All right. Our next card. This is going to be a weird one. So this is for Dark Irregulars again, and it is Bladewing Tillith. So it is a perfect guard, so it's got the Sentinel ability, and it is Counterblast 1 during the battle that your Vanguard was attacked. When this card is placed on the guard circle from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, call 5 cards from the top of your deck to the guard circle, and if you have a Vanguard with Bladewing in its card name, choose any number of your grade 3 Guardians and put them into your soul. So you can soul charge and call a bunch of support to your guard circle.
Yeah. This card in particular, I think it has potential to be good, but I still think you might be better off running just regular perfect guards because you don't have to pay the counterblast.
What's the point of calling additional cards to the guard circle if you have a perfect guard there already?
Well, it's not a perfect guard, it's a quintet wall. It doesn't nullify the attack. The point of it is to call the cards to the guard circle.
Oh, okay. So even though it has the 0, even though it has the Sentinel ability and it has the 0 shield.
Yeah, it doesn't nullify the attack. Yeah, the 0 shield just means the card itself doesn't have any shield.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go over the next one. Cole, you want to do this one?
Yes. Enigmatic Assassin. It's a Dark Irregular, grade 0. It's actually, I think, the new starter for them. So it has a Darkness ability when it's in the soul. And Darkness, as a refresher, is an ability that is activated when you put any card into your soul during that turn. And at the beginning of your attack step, if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, you may call this card to Rearguard Circle. If you do, this unit gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn. Then, if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more, this unit gets power plus 10,000 until end of turn.
So a nice difference in this one from your usual starters is it does not have the Forerunner ability. So it can basically sit in your soul until the soul charge hits the level that you want. So it can, if you can take it out when your soul hits 10, you can take it out when your soul hits 15. It does not only come out when it's ridden over. So it is nice, and then you can get that 10,000 boost, put it behind somebody else, and in 11,000 you're starting with a 21 power. If that's strided, then plus 15, you're at 36 to start with.
Yeah, I think I'd more so use it because it's a great booster, obviously, but I'd more so use it when you're kind of going for that push to end the game, because it just gives you a great power boost. Yeah,
and I was wrong. That actually can add up to 41 if you have 15 in your soul. Everything with Dark Irregulars now seems to be 15 in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I haven't looked enough into the clan to see if that, but with this set at least, that's definitely what I'm seeing.
All right, so who said that this one was a really cool card? Wings of Reincarnation.
That would be cool.
All right, Cole, you want to read this one too, since you were so excited for it?
I do, because this is a pretty cool.
Are you going to be playing Dark Irregulars soon?
It is tempting, honestly. Most of the clans in this set I do want to play. All right, so
save money for Gen Con, sir.
Oh, I am. I've got my tip money stored away. All right, so Wings of Reincarnation, Blade Wing Ragey. It's a grade 3 for the Dark Irregulars, and it has an ability of Soul Blast 15. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a card named Blade Wing Ragey in your soul, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gets power plus 15,000 and plus 2 crit until end of that battle. And it has another ability. While it's in the soul, you can counterblast 1 and choose 3 cards from your hand and discard them. At the end of the battle, that your grade 3 Vanguard with Blade Wing and its card name not named Wings of Reincarnation Blade Wing Ragey attacked. If the attack did not hit during that turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, ride this card as stand.
So you could superior call it from the soul?
Yeah.
Superior write it from the soul.
Write it, yeah.
Write it as stand, yeah.
And if you combine it with that Tillith card, if you got grade 3s, and especially this grade 3 in the when you did your quintet wall, you can add those into your soul. So if your first attack didn't hit.
Yeah, it seems pretty interesting, but if you're doing this, you're not going to be able to stride, so you're losing a drive check, and then you also have to
discard 3.
Discard 3. So you're basically you're losing out on 3 cards, and then you're also not getting a drive check. So
this is a final assault type thing, because once you Soul Blast 15, you're losing all of those other abilities that everybody else had.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you get 15,000 power and a critical, but
2 crits.
I don't know. 2 criticals. Wow. Okay.
So it's a 3 crit card, man.
Seems pretty good. I still think there might be better options for the clan, but I don't know it well enough. So I guess
we'll have to see how.
But it does seem really interesting. There's been a lot of cards lately that have been kind of coming up that allow you to ride over your Vanguard with another one to kind of get the one you want, or just to get extra attack.
I am going to go over the Gold Paladin G-Guardian because Cole hates the artwork on this. Golden Beast
Yeah.
Slimy Flare. I have an original Slimy in my binder full of cards. So
I mean, it's just a common, so.
yes, the
Even-
original
even
Slimy is.
com-
This is a triple rare.
Even commons are special.
Or is it double rare? I can't tell what its rarity level is. But Cole hates this card just because the artwork, at least as it's presented on the web, basically looks like a photoshopped picture of a Siamese cat
Yeah.
with a sword in its mouth and some armor on it. It's like looks like a real cat with some drawn on pieces around it. So it's a G Guardian. So you have to discard a heal trigger in order to use it. When this unit is placed on the guard circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Search for up to 2 cards with different grades from among them, call them to the guard circle, and shuffle your deck. So you basically can pull out 2 additional guarding cards out of the top 5 to boost the amount that you're guarding. That's decent. So you can possibly add 20,000 shield.
Or a perfect guard.
That's true. 20,000 shield or a perfect guard using Slimy. Jack, you want to get Wrap Banana?
Wrap ban, highbrow steam, wrap banana. Yes.
Is Gear Chronicle getting more support still?
Well, this is
Yeah.
a dark regular, no?
No, Wrap Banana's a Gear Chronicle.
It's a Gear Chronicle.
Well,
Yeah,
Cole put dark irregular in the sheet. So
Did I?
yeah. So when this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, you can choose one of your grade 1 or greater rear guards and return it to the deck. If you do, you search your deck for up to 1 grade 0 card and call it to rear guard. If you called a card, this unit gets plus 10,000 shield until the end of the turn. So basically, it's a 35,000 shield.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. But you kind of have to decide like how many of this one you're going to run, and then how many of the Fighters Collection one you're going to run, because the Fighters Collection one allows you to put cards from your discard pile from your drop zone back into your deck. So probably 2 and 2 is what I would do. But
You could run more than 4 too.
well, yeah, but you're also running Dark Dismal and Screw. Actually, you probably don't need Screw You in this deck.
Yeah, that's true.
But Dark Dismal you definitely want to run. So yeah. I don't know.
I guess it also depends on how many strides you want to run too, and what strides.
Well, Gear Chronicle has a lot of good strides.
Yeah,
so,
I want to run 16 strides, man.
in that deck.
Yeah.
All
It
right,
is-
so here's something I haven't seen in a while, which is a 10,000 power grade 3. Do you want to hop on this Gold Paladin there, Cole?
Oh yes, this is probably my favorite card of the entire set.
That art is quite glorious.
The art, and then these effects that it has are really cool. Okay, so this is Dawngal. It is a grade 3 Gold Paladin. It has Generation Break 1 and Unite ability. And Unite is when you have called 2 or more units to the rear guard or guard circle that turn. This unit gains Intercept and an auto ability. When this unit intercepts, this unit gets shield plus 5,000 until end of that battle. So grade 3s don't come with shields. So it has an effect built in where it gets that shield that grade 2s would have. And then it also has another effect. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, this unit gains boost until end of turn. So theoretically, it can have all 3 of the skills. There we go. The skills.
Yup.
Or 3 of the 4 now.
Yeah, because not triple drive. But
Yeah.
Well,
I think
actually,
this-
it doesn't need Unite in order to get boost. It always
No,
has
exactly.
boost.
It does always have boost.
Yes.
Cool.
But with Gold Paladins, it's really easy to get Unite off.
Yeah.
So-
I think this, if you're running pure Gurguit, I think this now becomes your secondary grade 3.
That's
If you don't want to run Ezel.
That's my exact thought, because
Yeah.
it adds even more defensive capabilities.
I don't think anybody should play Ezel, so I'm glad that they're coming out with better cards to
Well,
support the poor
Ezel's
Gold
still-
Paladins.
Ezel's still good.
All right,
Basil's still good.
This Dimension Police card from the Stargate Nation, which does kind of look like a gunslinging cowboy dude, Cosmic Hero Grand Drifter. Generation Break 1, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Gallop in its card name, so I guess we're going with a Gallop subclan now, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gets power plus 4,000 until the end of the turn. Choose one of your Vanguards until the end of turn. It gets power plus 4,000. And auto, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if this unit's power is 40,000 or greater, draw a card. I'm not that excited by draw a card. I mean, it's nice to have draw opportunities.
I thought so too, and then I looked at the Grand Gallop card, and it has a pretty crazy ability. I'm just going to read the second one. When it's strode upon, choose one of your Vanguards until end of the turn. It gets plus 4,000 and Counterblast 1. When this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost if you do draw a card. So basically, I'm assuming that with all of these Grand Gallop cards, that it just pressures you into either blocking and not letting me draw a card, or just letting me build up my power so that when I attack, I can draw a card anyway. So if the attack goes through, you can still draw a card through the Grand Drifter and Grand Gallop, and then there's also Grand Seed, the starter, which is a lot easier to get off too. So it's increased draw power.
Yeah, well, maybe that's something to do with the that subclan that they love to draw cards for whatever reason to be extra defensive. Why not? All right, who wants Float Gear Hippogriff?
I guess I'll take it.
Sounds so defeated. You get a Hippogriff, man.
Well, you're giving me all the Gear Chronicle stuff.
You're the one who wants Gear Chronicle.
Hey, not anymore. I got Angels now. So this is Interdimensional Beast Float Gear Hippogriff. Time Leap. When your drive check reveals a grade 3, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the battle. And then you can choose one of your rear guards and Time Leap it. And so for those of you who don't know, Time Leap means you bind the card and then you search your deck and call a card that is grade +1 from that card's grade, and then shuffle your deck. And then at the end of the turn, you put the called unit on the bottom of your deck, and then the bound card is called. So what this does is it gives the new Chrono Fang Tiger build of Gear Chronicle an alternative for their first stride, because originally I think it's Metallica Phoenix has a similar ability that gives you a time leap, but you're required to have Chrono Jet Dragon in your heart to do it. So with this one, it turns basically all of your grade 3s turn into triggers because it gives you the plus 5,000 boost. Pseudo triggers because you can't choose to give the boost to your rear guards. And it also gives you an opportunity to time leap in a way that only Chrono Jet could do before, but now Tiger also gets that capability.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So, Cole, you do this next Gear Chronicle since Jack's whining about having to do too many Gear Chronicles. So it's the Gear Chronicle Zero Shield. I don't want to call it a perfect guard anymore because I don't know if it's going to be a quintet wall or if it's actually going to be a perfect guard.
It is a quintet wall. Okay, so this is Steam Scalar Emelana. Emelana?
It rhymes with banana.
Emelana.
Sure.
Okay, Counterblast 1. During the battle that your Vanguard was attacked, when this card is placed on guard circle from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, call 5 cards from the top of your deck to the guard circle. And then it has an auto ability. Choose one other card from your drop zone and bind it face up. When this unit is put into the drop zone from the guard circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 cards from your drop zone, return them to your deck, and shuffle your deck.
So that's nice. It helps you retrieve 2 things from your drop zone. The one thing to pay attention to is choose one other card from your drop zone and bind it face up. Once that card is bound, it is out of play for the rest of the game because there is no condition here for returning it to the game. So it stays out of play for the rest of the game.
But it still does give support to that Gear Chronicle, the new stride we talked about last time.
Oh, it's based on the number
does
of
something
binds?
based on
Nice.
But that's okay.
Well, I'm going to do a Gold Paladin. Knight of Thin Sun, Marcia. I didn't know girls could be knights. Has the Unite ability with auto. When it's on the rearguard circle, you can put Marcia into your soul. At the end of each turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, countercharge 1. So it's very simple, easy. You soul charge and countercharge 1. And it has resist, so it can't be selected. So we were talking previously about how the Gold Paladins don't have that many opportunities to soul charge. So now this is just a very simple way to soul charge that you're going to want to do because it gives you the counter charge as well. And it can't be selected because it has the resist ability. That was easy.
Yep.
All right, here, do your Ezel support.
Yes, Crimson Lion Beast. Howl.
Howl?
Howl.
Like the howls from what was that TV show where they're stuck on the island?
Sure.
Gilligan's Island?
Gilligan's Island, the howls.
Oh, okay. Anyways, when this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Ezel in its card name, countercharge 1, soul charge 1. So it's really good for Ezel decks because it gives you a free countercharge and it builds soul for you to use the new Gurgwit stride.
Yeah, so it's very similar to that previous card, except this one does not have to go into the soul. It's just on placement on the rearguard circle.
So it still can boost.
It has to have an Ezel, though.
But that's okay because Ezel is the superior.
Debatable.
All right, so who wants to talk about Connor? Because somebody is very excited about Connor as well.
I guess that's me.
Sounds so sad about it.
Because I was excited about a lot of the cards that I put on the list. So this is Holy Mage Connor. It is has an auto ability of Soul Blast 1. Oh, by the way, it's a grade 1. So Soul Blast 1, when this unit is placed on the rear guard circle or the guard circle from your deck, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gets power plus 5,000 or shield plus 5,000, depending until the end of turn. So it depends on if you're throwing it out with, I think Gurgwit's ability where you can call from the top of the deck to guard. It can get another 5,000, so it comes at 10,000 shield, or it can be a 11,000 attacker or booster.
As long as you have something in your soul to blast.
That's true, but then if you go with the the Knight of Thin Sun, Marcia, if you go with that, you can build up your soul like that.
Well, if you go with both of them.
True. Fair enough.
All right, so it looks like we're just in Gold Paladin territory. I guess they made them all commons this time around.
Quite a few Gold Paladins.
So Iron Blue Lion, Shide.
This is Ezel support too.
Say it the way I wanted to say it. It's just gonna say Shide. He's an Iron Blue Lion. He's not a bluish flame. These Gold Paladin card names are just whatever. So you have to Soul Blast one card not named Iron Blue Lion Shide. When your unit with Ezel in its card name is placed on the Vanguard circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, call this card to the Rearguard circle, draw a card, and this unit gets power plus 2,000 until the end of turn. Oh, so you call this to the Rearguard circle from your soul. So it has to have been used to soul charge previously.
Well, no, it's a starter.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that anywhere. Okay.
Well, it's a grade 0. It doesn't have Forerunner though. It's like the Dark Irregular one we talked about earlier.
Yeah, except it has to be called out. There's not a condition that pulls it out. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. And it also, when it comes out, you lose 2 in the soul as well for Ezel. So it takes itself out, and then you also have to Soul Blast in order for it to take itself, or for when it's called.
Yes,
right?
another soul blast. So you have to have that soul charge first, or use it on just the cards that you used to ride with previously. All right. Do you want to get this silly musician, Jack? Stand trigger?
Yeah.
New stand trigger.
Sure. Player of the Holy Pipe, Harry. Her. It's spelled weirdly. It's like Herrie.
Yeah, I'm saying
anyways,
Harry.
Generation Break 1, Unite. This unit gets plus 3,000 power, and at the end of the battle that this unit attacked or boosted, put this unit into the soul and countercharge 1. So Gold Paladin now has, I think, 3 different stand triggers that are all viable in the deck. This one allows you to countercharge and build soul for the Gurgwit Stride, and then the other ones allow you to do different things such as like calling, drawing and calling new cards and stuff like that. So, yeah, but this one's pretty good in the Gurgwit deck. Yeah,
we were concerned about not having enough opportunities to soul charge, and now they have 3 cards in this set that do soul charge. So they obviously are following behind with meeting that need. All right, Cole, give us the first Enigman. So they're bringing back Enigmans, which were some of the early Dimension Police subclans.
Okay, this is Enigman Crescent. It is a grade 2, and it has the continuous ability of, while it's on the Vanguard Circle /Soul, this card is also treated as Enigman Wave. And then it has another ability, which is Auto. When this unit is placed on the Rearguard Circle, choose one of your Vanguards with Enigman in its card name, and it gets power plus 4,000 until end of turn. If the number of cards in your damage zone is 5, choose one of your grade 3 Vanguards with Enigman in its card name, and until end of turn, it gets Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks until end of that battle, your opponent cannot call grade 1 cards from hand to the card circle.
So, no perfect guards, no quintet walls.
And
from
it's
hand.
Also... Yes,
well, so hand. You can G-guard still. Yeah.
You can G-guard, and any of those ones that pulled something from the deck to the guard circle, you can do grade 1s from the deck to the guard circle.
Yeah.
All right, so interesting that he has the additional name of Enigman Wave, so there must be a card that asks for Enigman Wave in the soul.
There's an Enigman ride chain that where it's like just one of the older ride chains where I think it's if you ride that card you get a power boost. So this gives you basically 4 more of the grade 2 and the grade 1. So it allows you to get the skills that give your power boost a lot easier than even if you miss the ride chain, you still have the ability to use that ability
that asks for the card with that name. Exactly. So that's why there's also this other card, which is Enigman Squall, which also carries the name of Enigman Ripple when it's in the soul. And this has a counterblast 1. When an attack hits a Vanguard during the battle that this unit attacked or boosted, if you have a card in your soul with Enigman in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your units with Enigman in its card name, and it gets power plus 4,000. So that's just a simple power boost, as long as it's got the Enigman. So you're doing like a full Enigman build. I don't know what an Enigman is, but the Dimension Police certainly enjoy having them. All right, so that's all of the cards that we wanted to review from Set 7 at this point. We'll probably have more to say about them once the set is actually released in June and we see these cards in play. We'll probably start talking about Fighters Collection, which was the last set to come out, and what we've seen of those in play. Do you guys have anything else to say about Set 7 at this point?
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the golds and some of the Kagura cards.
All right, our term of the week this week is going to be Bind Zone, which caused Cole a little bit of confusion previously. So my explanation to him, which was not recorded last week, is that the Bind Zone, it actually does have a location. It is to the right of the drop zone, and it is off the field. The main thing about the Bind Zone is that any cards that are in the Bind Zone are out of play completely. I guess unless there's a Gear Chronicle that is going to be counting cards in the bind zone. But you can't use them for any abilities, skills, effects, anything like that, except for the Gear Chronicles. If a card is face up in the bind zone, it is public knowledge. If it is face down in the bind zone, it is only the knowledge of the owner of that card. So I know, at least from my play, the two things I know of that do bind zone, the Oracle Think Tank has Uriele, where when Uriele, this card is so hard to pronounce. She kind of looks like a Medusa lady, but when she's put into play, the person who puts her into play can select one card from the opponent's hand and bind it until the end of the turn. So it just takes one card out of defensive mode for the opposing player. And then in the Link Jokers, the deleters have something called, I think it's called either banishing or vanishing bind, where some of their abilities take a card out of the drop zone and move it permanently into the bind zone. And so once you hit, I think it's 13 cards, and then you have one of their cards as the Vanguard, it's an auto win condition for deleters. And typically with the bind zone, if it gives an explanation of when a card returns from the bind zone, then you actually can return it to play. If there is no explanation given of returning a card from the bind zone, it never comes back, ever. You have to throw it away after you're done playing that day, because it's just bound away, right?
I was muted. I apologize. Yes, that's exactly how it works. I was replying to all of that. That's lovely.
Oh, no. Well, I'm glad that I gave a perfect soliloquy to describe the bind zone. What other clans use the bind zone besides Gear Chronicle? Because I'm sick and tired of their bind shenanigans.
Narukami, a lot of their newer cards involve, instead of retiring your opponent's units, you bind their units.
Is it a permanent bind or is it a temporary bind?
Some of them are permanent, some of them are temporary. It just depends on the card.
All right. So not to ignore the Gear Chronicles, the Gear Chronicle time shift capability, basically you take a card, you put it into bind, and then typically you put a card that's one grade higher in its place. You can call a card from your deck, and then at the end of your turn, you return that card from bind and put the higher grade card back into your deck. That's shenanigans right there. All right. Cole, do you have any other questions about the bind zone?
No. Questions, no, but if anyone's played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before, it works a lot like the banish. When you banish, actually, it's like any card game, when you banish a card from that game. I think Magic has it too, where it literally is not part of the game. But
yeah, Pokemon had that too. A lot of cards. I mean, a lot of games have that similar concept.
But with Yu-Gi-Oh! Lately, it's been there have been a lot more cards that have been working with their banish zone, so it's kind of becoming a second graveyard or discard zone for them for some archetypes, which I think is kind of taken away from the whole banish thing if they can just teleport right back in. But whatever, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast, it's the Vanguard podcast.
So we started talking about Pokemon, we're going to end talking about Yu-Gi-Oh!
What confused me first when we were talking about what I had the question is it said that it binds it face up. Now, to me, I didn't know that there was a bind zone in Vanguard. I just thought that it was kind of like the lock when Link Joker locks a card, that it just you turn it a certain way and then you can't touch it until the end of the turn. I didn't know that it actually moves off the field.
Oh, yeah, no. Right, because there's no unbinding. There's nothing that unbinds a card. There are things like stupid Ezels that unlock cards. And there are some capabilities in the Link Jokers that super lock a card. So, all right, that's enough Vanguard talk for this week. Once again, I'll ask people, please, if you have found our podcast in iTunes, I would greatly appreciate if you put in a review, give us as many stars as you feel is necessary, but just reviewing the podcast is an indication to Apple and iTunes that people actually are listening to us. So that helps, that gives them some incentive to promote us, and that gets us more listeners. And the more popular we are, the more popular you are, because you're already listening to us and you're not a Johnny-come-lately. Want to say thank you to executive producer SBJ. Thanks to Nick Burgess for the intro and outro music, and when I use it, the interstitial music. And then if you do want to get in touch with us, still the best way is Twitter. We're going to have a website soon. I did set up a Twitter account for the podcast itself, and that's drive_, which is that underline thingy, check, drive_check, CHECK, unlike Jack's Twitter handle, which is very similar. If you want to reach me individually, I'm at Washin the And Cole?
I am at Cole_McCune. That's COLE_MCCUNE.
And I am at drive_Jack. Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Drive Check podcast. Later, dudes.
Nice. Later, dudes. This is Surf Time, California.